There's a little more in the way of cloud cover, especially in western locations, part of these storms that are diving south of St. Louis. Further east you are, the skies are a little bit clear. Not out of the question, there could be a little bit of patchy fog once again in spots, but if you don't have the clear skies, you're not going to see the fog. Temperatures overnight tonight will be in the 60s. Tomorrow, we're looking at high temperatures back up to right around 90 degrees.
An Indianapolis family is calling for accountability after they claim their child got on a bus that he wasn't supposed to at their Far East Side school. I'm WRTV's Adam Schooms, the message from the family and school leaders.
Oh, I was real scared and nervous because he don't go with strangers.
Tony Cole's grandson Les was wrapping up his second day of kindergarten but was mistakenly placed on an IPS bus at the end of the day. The child goes to school at Charles Warren Fairbanks School 105 on Indy's Far East Side.
But I was still awful angry at the school for doing that because I'm angry. I was scared for my grandson because I know he was real scared.
The family says he was signed up to be a car rider and never should have been on a bus. Cole was there to pick him up Tuesday, but Les wasn't there.
They brought him back to school about 4 or 4:30.
By who?
I don't know who this woman was. I didn't even see her. He just come walking into the office, into the main office.
Cole says her grandson was on the bus for about 2 hours before finally being reunited with his family.
He just looked at me and just kept saying, "Grandma, I told him not, and I wasn't no bus rider." I kept telling her, she wasn't listening to me.
IPS said school officials recognized the error within a few minutes and had the student rerouted back to the school. An IPS spokesperson tells us they reviewed the situation and are taking appropriate action to ensure it doesn't happen again.
When I first seen him, I hugged him, and I'm like, I'm so glad he was safe.
Now Cole's family just hopes that this doesn't happen to anyone else.
I'm telling all these parents, watch your kids. Try to make sure that they get from and back forth to school, whatever way they get there.
In Indianapolis, Adam Schooms, WRTV.
The president of a struggling Grant County cemetery was a no-show today at a state board meeting. It's an update to his story WRTV Investigates first told you about last month regarding Estates of Serenity in Marion. It's been plagued with high weeds and grass, dead landscaping, and markers knocked out of place. Brian Jeffrey is the president of the nonprofit that's been running it. He's accused of violating the probation of his state cemetery license. The State Funeral and Cemetery Board was scheduled to hear the case today, but Jeffrey didn't show up. His attorney told the state he doesn't have the funds or transportation to attend. The board is expected to take up the matter at its next meeting in October. Happening tomorrow, a ribbon cutting for a much anticipated change on Indy's east side, and Purdue University Airport is dedicating a terminal to a legendary Boilermaker. A dedication ceremony is happening at 1 o'clock for the new Amelia Earhart Terminal, and we'll get a chance to check it out. The terminal has been under construction since May of 2024. It has a waiting area, baggage claim, and TSA security checkpoint. SkyWest Airlines will operate daily nonstop flights to Chicago from the terminal. A ribbon cutting ceremony will celebrate the completion of two-way conversions along Michigan and New York streets on the east side of Indianapolis. The formerly one-way streets will now have traffic running in both directions as a way to slow down traffic and improve infrastructure. The ceremony is happening tomorrow morning at the Thomas Gregg Neighborhood School on Keystone Avenue, but New York Street's traffic pattern won't change until Monday, and then Michigan Street will open up on Tuesday.
I'm Nico Panisi with WRTV, and I'm here at Living Room Theaters for the premiere of Keys to the Streets, film centered around life in Indianapolis.
Kids hustling on the block to being well on our way to becoming multimillionaires.
Keys to the Streets is an urban crime drama that takes you on a journey through Indy's gritty underbelly.
You're trying to overcome the obstacles that's placed in front of you. So you're trying to move in the streets like to stay alive and survive.
Director Corey Sanders describes the genre of his movie as a dope opera, a play on soap opera.
We making dope like movies and music and stuff like that. So this is for the street. So we just taking a negative, turning into a positive.
Over 50 indie-based artists collaborated on the making of this film, directing, acting, filming, composing, and more.
This is a Naptown story. Naptown music, Naptown composers, Naptown actors.
The film is meant to mirror the very real-life experiences happening in our city.
People get locked up, people get shot, people get killed, people get robbed. You know, it's all fun and games at the beginning until things get real.
It's based on a book series called We Got the Keys to the Streets by Courtney Brown, who is also a screenwriter for the movie.
It's about 3 childhood friends, okay? So the story, it gets gritty because there's a thing called street life, and we all know. So basically, you got people who get in. It's very hard to get out.
The story centers around the main character, Raja, as he tries to unlock a better future.
His role is like a leader, sort of like a leader for his tribe. And his whole motive is just to get his guys out of a bad situation into a better situation.
Actor Nikki Neptune hopes audiences learn something from the film.
Everything that you do, you want to make sure you think about first and know the consequences for what you're doing and learn from your mistakes.
In Indianapolis, Nika Panisi, WRTV.
The new school year is here for Hoosier kids, and some schools are finding new ways to teach them. We'll show you how classrooms in IU's backyard are embracing early education. And $2,400 a year, that's how much some experts say new tariffs could cost your family. Why businesses say they're passing costs on to consumers.
You're watching WRTV, part of the Scripps News Group.
Todd Simmons here in Monroe County for the first week of school, where the county's 2 main school districts have the same priority, investing in kids while they're still young enough to use this slide. Children have a lot of skills to learn before they even get to elementary school.
That's okay.
That's why Edgewood Schools and the Monroe County Community School Corporation are embracing public education before kindergarten. Both districts say parents are signing up as fast as they can.
We always had a long wait list every year when we opened enrollment. It was really hard for parents to get into the program.
Last year was our first year to fully expand our 4-year-old program, and we more than doubled it.
Pre-K is expanding again down here. Edgewood's new Early Childhood Center in Ellettsville is now open, a $12 million investment, which is twice the size of its former space. Preschool director Heather Kinzig says they needed every inch.
This year, when we were able to open enrollment and we didn't have to turn people away, we were able to accept all of the students who enrolled. That was really special to us.
Down the road in Bloomington, MCCSC and new superintendent Marquay Winston opened up its pre-K to 3-year-olds, thanks to a district-wide tax referendum.
I think that we are well positioned to continue to accelerate, and we're starting with our youngest babies.
Monroe County is known for higher education, but these districts might need every possible boost to prepare IU's potential class of 2043.
We've had a 7.7% decline in population here in Monroe County. And so we recognize that we've got to do the best job that we can for those students who are here.
They believe the push for pre-K is already paying off.
Kids in kindergarten, if they've been in pre-K, they've already learned how to sit and listen to a story with a teacher and follow a teacher's directions.
The kindergarten teachers are ready to receive them. They're excited too. They're like, oh my goodness, these students are walking in my door ready to learn.
This early start on education could pave an easier road to high school graduation and beyond. In Monroe County, Tosh Simmons, WRTV.
The need for engineers here in the Hoosier State is large and only getting larger. I'm WRTV's Casey Zanowick taking a look at one new program here at Butler University, hoping to bridge that gap as soon as possible. Over 50%.
There's a lot of demand.
That's the percentage of engineering firms here in Indiana that face problems hiring qualified talent.
There's a large gap.
It's a statewide issue, one that Jeff Carvel with Butler University says is only continuing to grow.
Thousands and thousands of more jobs in engineering over the next 5 to 10 years that are going to be added beyond what is already here.
It impacts various sectors, including technology, manufacturing, even the life sciences.
We met with numerous companies here in central Indiana, heard from them again and again about their need for engineers of various types.
That's one reason the university wanted to launch an engineering program.
We think we can deliver engineering in a unique way, an engineering program that is high-quality engineering, but also provides those kinds of liberal arts skills.
Carvel knows that combination firsthand. He graduated from Butler University back in 2006.
I myself came from Chicago, and I came here 25 years ago and never left.
Data from ACEC Indiana shows more than half of engineering students currently at Indiana colleges are from out of state, and they are less likely to remain in the state after graduating.
Butler University is the largest in the region to bring students in and keep them in central Indiana.
He's hopeful this new program will continue to do so.
We're going to continue that and do that with engineering.
At Butler University, I'm Casey Zanowick, WRTV.
A rough first preseason game for the Indianapolis Colts tonight in Baltimore. They lost to the Ravens 24-16. In the second series of the game, starting quarterback Anthony Richardson Sr. injured the pinky finger of his throwing hand when he was sacked. Coach Shane Steichen confirmed Richardson's finger was dislocated. The original plan was for Richardson to play 1.5 quarters of the game. Daniel Jones took over as quarterback for the rest of the first half. Then Riley Leonard finished out the second half. No fees, just football. The Colts are celebrating the upcoming season with a deal. No extra fees on single game tickets for regular season home games. You have to buy them between 10 a.m. tomorrow through 11:59 p.m. Sunday to avoid those fees. You can get tickets at the Colts website or Ticketmaster.
Every Thursday, the Drought Monitor gets issued, and today's update has some of northern Indiana under the abnormally dry conditions from Peru to just north of Lafayette and then over towards the state line. Most of central Indiana not in any category. And of course, this time of year, and we've seen it just the past couple days, some of you don't get a drop of rain, and then some of you get flash flood warnings like we had on Monday across parts of the area. Now, Indianapolis, and these are all airport observations, so keep in mind in some of your backyards and in your communities, the numbers are going to be a little bit different. But Indianapolis is actually below average since June the 1st. But look at Bloomington since June the 1st, nearly 17 inches of rain, and you're nearly 6 inches above normal. Fairly normal in Muncie and Lafayette. You've seen 3.5 inches above normal almost of rainfall. So very typical for this time of year. So we're not in a big time drought. That is the good news. And the radar is nice and quiet this evening. We had some downpours earlier this afternoon, very, very isolated once again. And in downtown, it's a quiet but warm and muggy evening. 79 is your current temperature. Winds are out of the south at 7 miles per hour. Everybody's in the 70s with the exception of Richmond at 68, 73, a pretty common number there from Bedford to Bloomington over to Terre Haute. 74 is the current temperature in Lafayette. Now think back to June and even back into July. We had some days where heat advisories were posted for the very hot and humid conditions. That's when we had dew points that were in the mid 70s, about 75. And you can see while our dew points are going to be in that 65 to 70 degree range, we really only get very, very muggy during the day on Tuesday. You'll notice a little more humidity around compared to the past couple days. This is not a repeat of what we saw earlier in the summer, but still, obviously, we're talking about temperatures that are going to be climbing into the 90s for actual temperatures and heat index values into the mid 90s. Overnight tonight, there could be a little bit of patchy fog out there. Temperatures in the 60s. Some high thin cloud cover that's drifting into the area may prevent some of that fog from forming. But just know it's a possibility come tomorrow morning. And then for Friday, partly cloudy skies throughout the entire day. A little more humid. Highs will be right around 90 degrees. And then for the weekend, we're looking at highs at 92 degrees both Saturday and Sunday with plenty of sunshine. Very summer-like weekend for us across the area. Once we get to Tuesday and beyond, we'll start to bring back the daily chance of some scattered thunderstorms across the area.
Construction has been paused for now at the ICE detainment facility in the Florida Everglades. A judge ordered the state to stop for the next 14 days after hearing arguments about whether the facility violates environmental laws. The hearing is scheduled to continue with more questioning next week. 2 people are dead after a helicopter crashed into a barge in the Mississippi River on the border of Illinois and Missouri. Authorities said the helicopter was reportedly working on power lines when it clipped them and went down, sparking a fire on the barge below. The victims were identified as a contractor and subcontractor doing lighting repairs.
Wall Street trading mostly lower today as the cost of tariffs roil companies' earnings reports. American consumers